Hi, welcome back to the channel. This tutorial will be on how to make this beautiful halter neck dress. These are the measurements I'll be working with. Now I've already gone ahead to draft out my basic body block. The starting line will serve as my shoulder line. Then I came down by 8.2 for my chest line, which is the armhole line. Then I came down by 11.5 for my bust point line. Then 15 inches for the underbust. Then half length rather, is 17.5 inches. So now I'm going to be taking the shoulder measurement, shoulder divided by 2. I'll make a mark, then I'll connect it straight to meet the chest line. Then I'm going to take my bust measurement, bust divided by 4. I'll make a mark. Then I'll also place the same measurement on my bust point line. Then on my underbust line, I'm going to place my waist divided by 4. Then place same thing at my waist line. I'll just connect this. Then I'm going to add my seam allowance to the pattern. And I'll also connect as well. Once I was done with this, the next thing I'll be doing now is to take my neck width of 3 inches, then the neck depth of 3.2 inches. I'll make a mark, then I'm going to connect it. Once I was done connecting this, before I'll connect this now to my chest line, I'm going to come up by 1 inch at my chest line because the person I'm making this outfit for is busty. So I'm just going to come up by 1 inch. This will help the dress not to be so revealing. Then at this neckline, I'm going to come down this point by 1.5 inch. Then I'm going to connect it back to this new chest line I just made. Then now I'm going to take my bust span measurement starting from the bust point line, and I'm going to take this down to the half length. Once I'm done taking it, I'm going to take ½ inch on both sides on the waistline. That's for the darts. Then once I'm done with that, at this bust point line, at this point, I'm going to come down by 1.5 inch. I'll make a mark. Now I'm going to connect it from this point to this point. That's the side dart for this dress. Now I'm going to cut through. I'm going to cut through this line, then cut open this line as well. Now I'm going to take this now and I'll place it this way, and I'm going to use my sellotape to hold this down. Sorry, I didn't realize the part where I cut it out wasn't recording. So I will now tape in my dart. After taping it in, this is it for the front piece. This is just basically it. I cut it out, and then the next thing I'll be doing right now is to cut the back piece. I've also gone ahead to mark out my basic body blocks. Now this will serve as my shoulder line, the starting point. Then I came down for the chest line, then the bust point line. Then the half length for the back is 16 inches, no longer 7.5 inches. And I also left allowance for the zipper allowance. All my measurements will be starting from the zipper allowance line. Now I'm going to take my shoulder measurement, shoulder divided by 2. I'll make a mark, then I'm going to connect it down to the chest line. Once I was done with that, I'll take my bust measurement, bust divided by 4. Make a mark, then at this my waistline, I'm going to take the waist measurement divided by 4. Make a mark. Then after that, I'm going to add the allowance as well. You can do yours on the fabric, but I prefer adding mine on the pattern. Then I will just connect this. The next thing is to take the neck width. I'm also going to make use of neck width of 3 inches for the back, then neck depth of 1.5 inches for the back. Then I'm just going to connect this. Once I was done connecting this, at the chest line, I'm also going to come up by 1 inch because I went up by 1 inch for the front piece. Now I'll also go up by 1 inch as well. so everything will correspond. Now afterwards, I'm going to come down by 1.5 inches as well. Here I'll make a mark 1.5, then I'm going to connect it to the new chest line I just made. The next thing will be to take the bust span measurement as well, just for the dart. Now I'll start from the bust point line. I'm going to take the bust span measurement divided by 2, then take it down from the bust point line. Then at the waistline, I'm going to go in by 1/2 inch. I'll connect it straight to meet the bust point line, just like this. Now I'm going to cut this out. Once I was done cutting it out, I cut this part open. What I'm going to do right now is to push this in to close in the dart, and I'll use my tape to hold it down as well. This is the fabric I'll be working with. This is a scuba fabric. I made use of 1.5 yard, and the length is by 60. Now for the sleeve of this dress, this is like a 1/2 yard of a crepe fabric. I folded it into 2. Now I'll be getting both sleeves at the same time. Now I'll fold it again into 4, just like this. The sleeve measurement for this dress is 28 inches. As shown, I took the measurement from the neck area, from the front down to the back area, and what he gave me was 28 inches. Now I'm going to just use my free hands to make a curve like this. The wideness will be determined by your drafted pattern. Now I'm going to take my tape and I'm just measure. What I had here was 3.5 inches. Now I'm going to make my 4 inches. I'm going to make a mark at 4 inches because I'll be closing this. By the time I close this, everything will fall into place. Now I'm going to take this 4 inches and go around, just like this. Now I'm going to cross check this 28 inches I measured for this sleeve area. Now, because this is folded into 2, I'm going to divide 28 into 2. Whatever it gave me, I'll place it here, then take my tape round, and that's it. I'll just connect this and then cut this out. Now that's it for the sleeve. Now for the lower part of this dress, I'll be drafting directly on the fabric. The full length of this dress is 45 inches. I'm going to add extra 2 inches to it, making it 47 inches. Now I'll make a mark at 45 inches and I'll also make a mark at 47 inches. Now at this top part, I'm going to subtract the half length, which stopped at 17 inches. So now I'm going to make a mark at 17 inches. I'm subtracting the upper part of this dress. Now this line will serve as my waistline. Then from that point, I'm going to come down by 10 inches for the hip line, then 19 inches for the new line. I'll make a mark. Now I'm going to input my measurement: waist divided by 4, make a mark, add the seam allowance, hip divided by 4, make a mark, add seam allowance. Then whatever thing I get here, including the seam allowance, I'm going to minus 2 inches, which gave me 11 inches. I'm going to place it at the new line and I'm going to take it down to the full length of the dress. Now I'm going to connect this point. Once I was done with that, I'll cut this out. The next will be for the back piece. I'm going to get the full length for this as well, and this fabric is on fold. The full length is 45 inches. The extra 2 inches will be used to fold in the hem of the dress. Now once I was done with that, I'm going to subtract the half length I'll make a mark at 17 inches and I will just make a mark. That will serve as my waistline. Then from that line, I'm going to come down as well 10 inches for the hip line. Then 19 inches for the new line as well. Now once I was done with that, the next thing I'll be doing now is to give this a contour. This dress will have a hip contour effect. So now at this waist area, I'm going to go in by 1.5 inches. Then I'll take the same 1.5 inches. I'll go in on the new line as well. I'll make a mark. Now I'm going to take this down to the full length of the dress. Once I was done with that, I'm going to make a curve. From this waist now, I'm going to make a curve to the hip. Then I'll also take that curve down to the new line, just like this. Now after this, now I'm going to take my zipper measurement, my zipper allowance rather. And I'll do this following the curve. Now I'll take it to the hem of the dress. Now all my measurement to be starting from the zipper allowance line. I'll take my waist, my hip, all the measurement to be starting from the zipper allowance line. Now I'm going to take the waist measurement, waist divided by 4, add the seam allowance, hip divided by 4, and add the seam allowance as well. Now I'm going to cross-check whatever thing I get at my hip now. What he gave me was 13 inches. Now I'm going to subtract 2 inches and I'll just place it at 11 inches and I will just connect these dots now to the hem of the dress as well, just like this. After that, I'll cut this out. And that's it. Now make a notch at the zip allowance side. Now for the collar, I folded my paper into 2 and this is 9 by 9. Now from this point, I'm going to come up by 5 inches. I'll make a mark at 5 inches. Now I'm going to just use my hand and curve it to meet this down part. Then after that, now I'm going to take the wideness of the collar will be 2 inches. I'll make a mark 2 inches following the shape. And once I was done with that, I'll connect. Now to make sure that we are working with the actual neck measurement, the round neck measurement for this particular person is 14.5. Now because this pattern paper is folded into 2, I'm going to divide 14.5 into 2. Now I'm going to place it this way from this point. Now I'm going to just take my tape, follow it this way and make sure it stops at that point, and then I'll just connect it, and that's it for this collar. After cutting this out, now I'm going to bring the fabric I'll be cutting this out on. Now I'm going to place the pattern on this and I'm going to cut this on fold. I'm going to cut the fabric on fold, and as you can see, I left allowance on every side I'll be using to turn it. Now let's head over to the sewing parts of this tutorial. Now I'm going to keep aside the lower part of this dress. We'll work with the upper part of the dress now. To start with, I'm going to take this collar now. I'll remove the pattern. Now I'm going to close this, but how I'm going to close this now, I'm going to leave like 1/4 inch at this lower part, just like this. Here I'll do the same thing for this other side, 1/4 inch. Then I'm just going to close from this place I marked. I'm going to close it up. Now for this part, I also went ahead to cut the facing I'll be using to turn the armhole part of this. I'm just going to place this way and I'm just going to close it up. Do the same thing for this other side. Now I'll repeat the same thing for the back piece. Take the facing, place it this way and close it up. Do the same thing for this other side. And once I was done with that, I'll do the same thing for the sleeve. And I cut 2 pieces each for this, and I also went ahead to cut the lining I'll be using to turn it as well. Now I'm going to place the lining this way and I'm just going to close it up as well. Close it up, the down part and the upper part, and I'll do the same thing for the other sleeve. Once I was done with that, this is what I have. I've turned it over to the right side and I've ironed it out as well. And this is the color. I've also turned it to the right side as well and I've ironed it out. As you can see, I folded one part in. I just folded one part in and ironed it out. I also went ahead to add a button holder to this. I'm gonna ahead to turn the armhole part of this top as well, both the front and the back. The next thing I'll be doing now is to join this. I'm going to bring the lower part now. I'm going to take it this way and I'm going to close this up. Using 1/2 inch, I'm going to close it up. And I'll do the same thing for the back as well. I'm going to bring in the upper part, place it right side facing right side just like this, and I'm going to close it up as well. This is it after joining the upper part and the lower parts together. This is the back piece. What I'm going to do now is to close the zipper allowance. I'm going to close it now to the point where my slit will stop. I've gone ahead to do that. Now I'll open this up now to the right side. Now I'm going to bring the front part of this dress and I'll place it this way, right side facing right side. And the next thing will be to take the measurements, my bust divided by 2. Place it on both sides of the dress, waist divided by 2, hip divided by 2, and just close it up. Once I was done, this is what I have. I've turned it over to the right side. The next thing I'll be doing now is to attach the sleeve. Now I'm going to take this part now, I'll place it here. I'm going to run a stitch to hold it down. Now once I'm done placing the front, I'm going to take this and run a stitch. I'm now going to take this other end of the sleeve as well and I'm going to place it at the back starting from the zipper allowance. I'm going to just run a stitch on it as well. I'll do the same thing. Place it like this and I'll run a stitch to hold it down and make sure it doesn't get to that zipper allowance area. And once I was done with that, this is what I have. And I also went ahead to add my zipper. I needed to add my zipper before adding the collar. It's necessary to add the zipper before adding the collar. So now this is it. The next thing I'll be doing now, I'm going to get the collar. I will attach this. This is it. I've gone ahead to make a notch at the midpoint. I've also made a notch at the midpoint of the dress as well, as you can see. So now I'm going to open this up. I'll take this part and I'm going to place it at the back of the dress just like this. At the wrong side, I'm going to pin this down and then I'm just going to hold this end. pin it down as well. After that, now I'm going to take this end. I'm going to open up the zipper. Now take this other part, turn it over this way, just like this, and I'm going to also pin it down and then run a stitch to hold it. I'm going to close it up. I'll repeat same thing for this other side. I'll take this side, turn it over this way. Then I'll sew this together as well. Once I was done with that, this is what I have. After attaching this is what I had. The next thing now is to I'll fold in this rough end. I'll push them in just like this. I'll push it in, and then I'm going to run a tiny stitch on it, like very tiny stitch. I'll push this in just like this. Then I'm just going to close it up. This is what we have after I close the collar. This is basically the dress. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you're yet to do so. I'll just put my button here and that's it. And this is what it looks like on the mannequin. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel if you're yet to subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up, leave me a comment and share this video. See you in the next one. Bye.